In the ring we stand tall, words of blades that never fall, debated warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. In the ring we stand tall, words of blades that never fall, debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. Through the noise we cut clean, spirited, mind sharp and keen. With a spark that lights the night, join us in this epic fight. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts clean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena, there's no chance to escape the fight by law. Dive in deep in the search for more. From heartfelt talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts clean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena, there's no chance to escape the fight by law. Dive in deep in the search for more. In the ring we stand tall, words are blades that never fall. Debate like warriors brave, every thought we give and save. Through the noise we cut clean, spirited minds sharp and keen. With a spark that lights the night, join us in this epic fight. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena there's no chance to escape the vibrant lore. Dive in deep and search for more. From heartfelt talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Will be heard. Will be heard.
Spartans! What is your profession?
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Spartan Arena on the on the Spartan HQ Network. I am your host, as always, the Ghost of Sparta, aka Peter. Of course, I can't do this by myself. I gotta bring my sidekick in. He is from the other side of the planet. Of course, we are talking about the most reckless person I know, Reckless Ray. What is going on, my man?
Well, living the American existential nightmare, I guess. I don't know. Chilling.
I don't think it's getting
Busy.
better or worse. I
Busy,
think I'm
man.
trying to figure it out. So the topic of night is the question I'm going to ask you first. Are there still good men out there?
No.
Please explain.
Okay. So, I mean, the question is you have to really kind of break down what is good. What do we consider good? And so, and I'm just going based off YouTube talking points. And so good would be somebody that is of use to a woman who will pick him off the man tree. And those men, that whole entire era, that whole entire happy wife, happy life, it's fucking dead. It's over. There's too much information out there. There's too many of us that are seeing, even if it's not personally happening to us, like most of the stuff that I found out about, like after entering the men's spaces, I've seen happen to people that are like close to me. And I'm like, yo, like this is wild. Like I cannot believe that like people are out here actually navigating like this. And then you start dating and you get into the dating scene and you just see it on steroids all the time. Like you see horrible scenarios playing out again and again and again. And to think that it's like that you are also going to just miraculously sidestep this. It's like those specific men, the ones that are just useful to women and are going to come in and save the day, like, no, they're gone. They're gone. It's over. It's over. No one's coming to save you. No one's coming to save anybody at this point. At this point, the Titanic is sinking and everyone's grabbing their own freaking door and stay the hell away from me. Like, that's what you're going to see. And it's a logical response. Like, nobody likes to be knowingly used. And the issue between now and the days of old is those old dudes didn't know that they were getting used like that. Like they just didn't know. And like now we know everything. Like all the information's available. You can see these things play out in real life. It's not just talking points on the internet. And when it comes to like the worst case scenarios, I've seen most of them happen to other people. Like personally in my life. And I'm just like, well, I'm probably not going to do that. Like I'm not going to sign up for that. So there's a different level of discernment. So the good men, as far as being of use to just any random woman in the street and happy wife, happy life, that's over. None of those guys exist.
I agree to a certain point because I still think is a man who tries to do the right thing we give roadblock
Mm-hmm.
because of how women treat us now these days.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't treat us as respectful like we used to be.
Yeah.
And I think it's a catch-22 because for years and years we were the pigs. Let's be straight up here, and we did shit like we shouldn't. And I think now the thing has reversed. The men who were out on the streets trying to get cheeks every fucking night and just use girls for whatever, girls realize like, you know what? It's my fucking turn to do the same fucking thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's that, but I mean, the chicks, women never wanted those guys to begin with. Like, if you were just a blatantly nice guy, like me personally, I'm an asshole. I've always been an asshole. I have varying degrees of directness, but you, depending on what level of filter you're in, like you're getting this work either way. Like I can phrase it differently for certain people, but the thought process and the logic is consistent across the board. So when you like, and chicks will date me that like don't like that personality type. Apparently, oh, I don't like that. Like I'm not attracted to that. Yet like they'll entertain it because they're wanting a certain set of characteristics, and then they want to bundle it up in a person that they're not going to be attracted to. So I mean, the nice guy, the dude who's going to do everything for you, that's the dude who comes in and picks up the leftovers. That's the reason you see within multiple communities now, oh, why won't these dudes come in and just save all these baby mamas? Because they don't want to, they're not trying to get used, bruh. Like you're coming in and you have all of a sudden, after you have 4 kids, you have standards. Fuck out of here. Like, what are you talking about? You want a high value man? We want virgins. Like, that'd be dope. What
Okay, so a little history lesson on myself. When I was younger, I was the nice guy. Open the door, taking out for dinner, paying for the meal, everything. And now I turn around. I'm under the same banner you are. I'm an asshole now.
I don't think any of that stuff is asshole. I do all of those things. I just won't talk to you for 3 months if I don't feel like it.
Yeah.
Like I'll get the door, I'll pay for the fucking meal. I just might not want to fucking see your ass ever again. I don't know. So when I say that I'm an asshole, like most people don't like me because of the removal of access. I'm an asshole in the sense that I'll just be like, yo, this doesn't work for me. I'm fucking done. Like, and I'll walk and I won't give a shit. And I'll be like, all that stuff I did for you, I can also just turn that off. Like, it's not that big a deal because I don't navigate with expectation. And it goes both ways because chicks will do stuff where they're like, I'm going to create distance to make you jealous. And I'll just be like, no, you're just going to get replaced. Like, I don't care. Like, because it doesn't, because like, I'm not expecting any of the nice stuff that you do. I'm not going, oh, well, like, I owe you something now. Because like, I don't believe that I owe anybody shit. Like,
and I agree 100%. What I was going to say, I'm under the banner of asshole, but I tell people I might be an asshole, but I'm an honest fucking asshole. That's the difference.
Yeah.
And I'm very blunt what I say, what I want, and what I need. Very simple. There is no if, buts, or must about it. That's how it is. If you don't like it, the door is right there. Don't let it hit you on your fucking ass out on your way out. I'll find somebody else. But it's funny you say all this because the first video I have to play, it goes to exactly what you're just talking about. Let me get it ready for us.
Just because he pays bills doesn't make him a good man. He's just a provider. A good man doesn't entertain other women. A good man doesn't put you down for him providing for you. A good man doesn't physically or mentally abuse his partner. A good man will respect you in your presence and most importantly in your absence. There are good men out there that do provide and respect their partner. Don't settle.
I already heard you sighing. Go ahead.
It's always these goofy looking, I did like 80 push-ups today dudes that say like weird stuff. Like, his version of a good man is what a woman dictates to being a good man. Women don't get to say what men are. I mean, not a good one at this point because like they don't want the guy who goes in and puts in 80 hours a week. They don't want that guy. At this point, they don't even want the providers that are making you so you don't work for 20 years. They don't want those guys either. They don't want anything. So like you can't give a culture that is completely poisoned itself, is in decline, can't figure out most of these same women that want to dictate what a good man is don't even know what a woman is, let alone a man. And they're all losing their jobs now. Bye, DEI hires. See ya. Like, how are you going to dictate what a man is if you don't even know the difference between a man and a woman and can't just articulate it? That's who we're supposed to be taking these playbooks from. And then you get these guys online that want to capitalize on that money and be like, oh, well, he doesn't mentally abuse you. You do realize that, like, by definition in 2025, if you get up and remove yourself from a room while arguing with a woman, that can be a form of abuse now too. You can't win. You cannot win. They will find a problem for every solution you present to them. Like, it makes it to where, like, most of the quote unquote good men, don't want to date. Like, no, there's no fucking way. Like, there's no fucking way I would be exclusive. I cannot even want to see anyone else but one person, but I'm not going to fucking be exclusive to one person at this point because literally it's not worth it. It's just not at this point. It's like, what? You just need somebody to die alone? I'll go fucking crawl into the woods by myself and die by myself. Like, I'm fine with that. I have cats. Like, I don't care. Like, it's insane. It is insane. Like, and then you have guys feeding into this BS, like co-signing it, so that these women are walking around going like, yeah, well, you made me feel kind of sad today, and I got baggage from my last relationship, so I'm gonna ghost you. And it's like, all right, fine, whatever. Like, talk to you never. Like, that's what we're dealing with. And it's just like, okay, so how do you want men to be? Because 90% of the time, women will show up based on who you are when they met you. And then they'll want to change you into something else that eventually they don't like. And the more you coalesce, the closer you're getting to the end of that relationship anyways, because she's going to turn you into this little crying, doughy powder puff thing that she's not going to have any respect for, that's not going to be able to defend her, and isn't going to want to go to work because everything you do is that's masculine is bad, because, like, why the fuck would you be a man anyway? We're the fucking problem. Like, there's just really no, like, there's no win in it. And that's the thing. And I tell people, I bring it up at work all the fucking time. All the time. There's a 30% win rate that has to be met, or things just psychologically won't fuck with you anymore. If we're not winning 30% of the time, at least minimum, that's what people need to continue wanting to play the game. The game of relationship in the West has been completely ruined because of the culture and the standards. You can, and I'm like, I don't judge people on how they want to rock out, but I do know stuff that's below my standards. And I'm like, cool, I'm not going to participate in that beyond a point.
I have a process of elimination. So one of my process of elimination is, what kind of value do you bring to my life? Am I going to be just babysitting you, or are you going to bring value? Are you going to boost me up and make me better? Are you going to make me stronger when I need you? Are you going to be there when shit is rough? Or are you going to be the type of woman, you're going to jump ship when shit hits the fan? Or you're going to be going out partying with your friends when you're supposed to be spending time with me? Those are a few examples. That is my process of elimination. Everybody has their own process of elimination, obviously. I have realized one major thing, and anybody in the chat can correct me if I'm wrong. That's fine. If you do disagree, it's a free country. You can disagree if you want. That most women want the guy who's on the streets, who hangs out with these little gangbang buddies and goes to the bars every night, gets drunk, doesn't have a job, and lives in mom's basement, or in whatever the case is, and doesn't have a job. A great example. So I knew somebody. I didn't even personally. My ex knew him. Knew the girl. She got knocked out. The guy didn't have a job. He's on his third DWI.
Oof.
And he continues going to the bars and driving without on a suspension license.
Yeah.
That is a great fucking winner.
I mean, he's providing something. I mean, so, and I understand it's because the grittier guys give an air of protection like this. They want, well, it's something that we've weeded out of society, and like, you only really get it from that caliber of guys. It's the same premise as why you'll see, like, within the left side of the political leaning, a bunch of effeminate dudes.
Yeah,
because they bought into the rhetoric, and then those chicks are going, where are all the real men at? Oh, they don't agree with you ideologically, so you've eliminated them, and like, now you're stuck with a bunch of predators or people that I wouldn't necessarily want to sleep on their couch. Like, honest opinion, like, it is what it is. But there's a certain air of being around somebody where you're like, I feel safe, like, you can handle yourself. Like, if something were to happen, like, you're gonna act. Like that is something that carries some credence, because like it's provide and protect. And I mean, honestly, like the further left you go and the pinker your hair gets, those dudes can do neither. Neither. You basically have a girlfriend with a dildo that's attached to them. Pretty much what you're getting. It's like, what's the use case here? Like what value are people bringing? Because like you said, like both parties should be bringing a value to the other party. And in a lot of cases, like when you're getting into how you get along with people, especially in the West, like it's few and far between where you actually like meet people that you can have an actual conversation with regularly.
Oh,
That you're
how
like, I
rare
don't
it
mind
is.
sitting around talking to you. Like,
And that is so rare to find at least a female that can hold a goddamn conversation. It's crazy how bad it is out there with the conversations.
yeah. And so how are you supposed to? So again, with the definition of a good man, because I mean, this also changes between female to female. Like, what's the stereotypical good man? Because that dude listed off and said, like, if your dude's not paying all the bills, that doesn't necessarily make him a good man. You know who says that? The dude who can't pay all the fucking bills. Oh, well, like, you need this other thing, baby, that I can provide you because I ain't got no fucking money.
Exactly.
Like,
A comment just came in, and I just posted a minute ago, but I'll repost it again. But the part I really want to hit point is that bad boy will always win, and I love it. What do you have to say that?
I mean, it'll always win with a certain echelon of woman. I mean, it like, we'll put it this way. I don't take, like, if I'm out dating somebody, I'm not around, you ain't never gonna see no thugs around me. Like there's this thing called paywalls. Like it's just sort of what it is. I was like, that's a poor person's game. I'm more brawlic than you. Like, and like, actually, it's not even an and with me specifically. But what I'm saying is, I don't put myself in positions to have to deal with people of that class.
Mhm.
Period. Because as we all know, I'm blatantly, openly a classist. Like, there's a bunch of shit that I just don't have to deal with because I don't exist in the same places that the people like that exist. Like, I'm just not going to be around you. You're not going to see me. You're never going to get a chance to holler at my chick. Like, it ever at all. Like, because we're going to be in different places. Like, I'm going to live in a different neighborhood. Like, I'm going to remove you from the scenario so I ain't got to deal with you. So it just depends, because I was like, I don't see a bunch of hood dudes in Hollywood parties. Like, I don't see them on the red carpet unless you're a rapper. Like, you don't see them there. They are not at those parties. Like, you go into certain neighborhoods, they're gonna scoop you up as soon as like. Jeff Bezos is not worried about a thug stealing his bitch. Like, that's all I'm saying. like, because you're nowhere near. He's worried about Leonardo DiCaprio stealing his girl. There's different levels to the game.
And you're right.
But I mean, our definition of nice guy, good guy, that level of hierarchy doesn't exist with men. And like, that's the problem. That's not even a masculine way to approach it. Are you a man of use? We have hierarchies that we've had for 5,000 fucking years that we've established. You walk into a room, you know which dude you don't want to fuck with. You know which dude probably owns the place and how to address accordingly with when you go to work. We have hierarchy set up. Like, we know who the decent guys are. The entire conversation of, oh, nice guys finish last. It's like anyone who gets steamrolled over, because honestly, let's be honest, thugs can't keep a bitch to save their life.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest.
Because this comic came right behind from the same person.
Yeah.
Remember the saying, nice guys finish last. Women are easy, extremely simple-minded.
Yeah.
And he's
not wrong.
Not percent wrong.
It's 5,000 years of programming. You gonna tell me that you defeated your genetics? Like, what are you talking about? Women like what they like for certain things, though, and that's the thing that these guys, that a lot of the red pill content doesn't get into the nuance of, is you're slotted for certain things. Like, The dude who's brolic and I feel safe, she wants him to smash. Not to keep, because he can't put up any type of lifestyle that she's going to want to be around, but he can scratch a specific couple of itches. But he's not going to build a castle because he lives in a box or his mom's basement. So you can't keep him for that. And you'll hear women say it all the time. Oh, I know that if I could just put these 2 guys or these 3 guys together, that would be the perfect man. It's because you have utility in certain realms. And unfortunately, a lot of dudes will break it down. I mean, some dudes go to the end of their lives like this, where they think that everything revolves around just catching some ass, which is literally the easiest part. It is. Because women are simple-minded and they're fucking distractible. Keeping one around, having one that wants to be around you, that's actually an accomplishment. Fucking a bunch of chicks is not hard unless you're ugly. Now, if you're ugly and you fuck a bunch of chicks, I mean, you might get Bill Cosby before you die. But like, what I'm saying is that's more of an accomplishment. Like, chicks don't even like you. You're not an attractive male on any metric. Like, there's nothing going for you. And you put down a bunch of chicks, I'll be like, yo, that's what you doing, bro? Like, you handing out punch at the party? Like, what's going on? But like a normal, in shape, I take care of myself dude going, I fuck a bunch of chicks, I'm like, that's cool. Like, you're not bored yet? Like,
It's funny. A buddy of mine, when you first meet him, he's a very timid person. 6 foot something, tattooed up, long ass beard, jacked to the knife. And when you go up and talk to him, he's like the sweetest fucking guy ever. But his presence is intimidating.
Yeah.
Once I got to know him, I'm like, shit, you're not as scary as I thought you fucking were. Like, I looked up like, well, you're a big motherfucker. I'm not fucking with you. Yeah. I'll be roadkill before you know it. Then I'll be calling you to back me up fast. But my point is, he's the sweetest guy ever. Sometimes the outside look is not who you really are. It's the inside.
Yeah. So I'm gonna keep circling back to this. Okay, so what is your definition of a good man then? Like, what would you consider like, yo, this is a stand-up guy? Any chick would be, I want him to date my daughters. Like, what are the characteristics of that man for you? Because I think it's going to be different for everybody, and I know for damn sure
is unique for every individual person. So the first one I will say, loyalty is number one.
Right.
If she's loyal to me, I'm loyal to her. If she's sleeping around, I'm like, yo, bring your sister. Let's join this shit. Seriously, loyal. Then the second one, like, what can you bring to the table as well? Can I bring to the table?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm a very hardworking person. I always have a job. If I don't have a job, I fucking hustle on Uber or whatever the case I need to do to bring the bread and keep a roof over our head. That's one. That's two. And like the other one, I would say, are you religious? That's the other thing. That's very important to me, because obviously I have religious tattoo. I have my cross. That's very important. I'm a big church person at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would say, are you the type of woman that I'm working my ass all day? Am I gonna have a hot meal on the table, or she's gonna look at me, go make your own fucking food, kind of thing?
Yeah.
Those are a couple of primaries right there.
Okay, so like for me, it's pretty simple. Like, you have to be of use. I would agree with you. Having a loyalty-based value set is important as well. But more along the lines is like, I'm looking at like, how do you carry yourself? How are you in shape? Are you capable of defending someone if you need to? Are your finances straight? Are you working on making your finances straight? Do you have a plan? Do you have a trajectory? Mm-hmm. Do you work hard? Now, those definitions of what we would consider, because I would say there's a lot of overlap there for what we would both consider a good man, isn't what like these women are talking about good man. They're like, you got to do all that and anything I say and keep me entertained all the time and keep me happy. And it's just like, men and women, like, our communication styles are different. Like, most of the time, like, if a woman complains to a man, he just goes and starts fixing it. He doesn't talk. He just goes, and whatever you fucking complain about, I'll just go handle it. And they're like, well, we needed to have a conversation. He's like, no, I fixed the thing you said. Like, so just don't say it anymore. Is Like, and they're like, no, I want you to communicate how I communicate. And it's like, no, that's not how that works. It's the same reason when a man asks for anything from a woman, they want to have a conversation about it. It's like, I just fucking asked you. Like, this is like, I'm voicing to you what I need. I just need you to do this. And they're like, well, let's talk about it. I got to feel it out. We got to talk about what moon phase we're in. And I was just like, no. Like, I need you to do X, Y, and Z. Like, that's what I'm asking for. Like, if this is going to work out, like, you put me in a position to where, like, I'm not comfortable. I don't like what's going on. That type of stuff. And they want to do what they want to do. And it's like, okay, well, if you're going to function that way, then, like, you have to understand that, like, when you're communicating with somebody, they're going to function a different way. And also, you can't have a gradient degree on good man. I'm like, especially like you said earlier with your example, most of these chicks are getting knocked up by bums. Like, your baby daddy ain't shit. This dude didn't have a job, but all of a sudden now, because homeboy, the second guy in line, didn't get to the bag either, but he's going to work for 60 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? Got a decent paying job. Like, maybe he's not rich yet, but he going to work and can pay for it. Doesn't live at his mom's house. But that dude's dusty. But the dude that got his kid in tow is nowhere to be found and broke. Like, again, when it comes to who's defining what a good man is, or a man in general, like, look at the source material. Like, where is this coming from? Like, it's not like we have a coalition of bums trying to dictate what a good man is. Male bums know that they're bums. You do not see a bum under a bridge panhandling going, I'm a high quality guy if these chicks would just give me a fucking chance. They know exactly where their station is in life. We don't have to argue with them about it. They're like, yo, I'm out here. I'm fucked up. Give me some change. I need another hit. It is what it is. They're not trying to plead their case to women about how, like, oh, there's like, I just need a hand. I need a little hand up. I need a little bit of time. Like, no, like, men know where they're at all times. Like, there's not a discussion about it. So when we're having this conversation of good men, and it's like, okay, so we're supposed to be a good man, I'd say aim for decent, have a job, don't live in your mom's basement if you're over a certain age, probably, unless y'all are doing some sort of familial, you and your family's rich and building generational wealth. But unless there's a plan involved, don't be in your mom's basement just because you want to play Xbox all day. Don't have a belly button that gets filled with Cheeto crumbs. Be in good shape. Then you're at least at decent, but like the other stuff beyond that, it's like, keep your word, be loyal, be as faithful as you can. If you're gonna be out here in these streets, just don't be accepting committed relationship offers. Like, you don't have to do that. Like, that's an option. Just stay single, and then you can do whatever you want, and then no one can yell at you. Like, this is not hard. Oh no, Travel One wants to know if there were ever good men. I'm like, you have air conditioning, and you just type that into a phone that a man made. Yeah, some of them were decent.
That's not even a legit question, because men were good at one time.
I don't think that it's a were. It's subjective, and these chicks now. A good man in days of old was your grandpa. He was a good man. He went to work, took care of his family, provided, and died. That was a good man. And it was a general consensus that was a good man. Good men only went away once the internet and the basis for you to compare to every single other situation's highlight reel, because that's not even real shit y'all are looking at on Instagram and shit. It's not real. This is a highlight reel. Most of them people got fucked up relationships. You looking at people talking about, oh, look at how Jessica's doing. Jessica got her ass beat after that picture. Profusely. Probably. Or she got pooped on that yacht that you saw her on when she was out in them international waters with them oil sheiks, because that's what they do to chicks.
One thing I will say, is one trend every fucking woman out there, and I can't say everyone, most women will always ask you on a first date how much you make. If you're not making a certain amount of money, they're out before you know it. and the return, and the return comment like, how are you going to take care of me? How are you going to provide for me?
Yeah.
And I thought this is like one of the comments said, a 50-50 partnership. It goes both ways, but they don't
Well,
see it like that.
it depends. It depends on what she's bringing to the table. I'm like, if you are very educated and you're like, I'm gonna homeschool the kids and whatever, then like, cool, dope. But the thing that we're not signing up for is to clean up somebody else's mess. And like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that's called fucking standards. The same way that women will be like, I don't date dudes under 6 foot. Cool.
That's your preference. It's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Like, so I don't want to clean up somebody's mess or date someone who's dysgenic. Like, okay.
I prefer a woman who's 5'2" with big ass boobs, and that's my preference. It's nothing wrong with that.
How do they walk?
What do you mean how to walk?
Because the center of gravity with the big ass boobs would be all off because they're close to the ground a little. And they got small legs. I'm just saying, like, I know how fulcrums work, bro. It's like that. Like, you'd be like, hi, Patrick. Yeah.
You've reached your limit on talking. Shut the fuck up.
It's a legitimate concern. That's a legitimate health concern.
All right, let me play the next video before we move on too far to this.
No, I mean, it's like I've had some, and like I see a lot of correspondence in the chat where it's like, oh, no one ever talks to me. Like, I've had some chicks ask some kind of weird shit.
Right, hang on 1 second. I want to say something really fast.
Oh,
I know I'm seeing a lot of comments from a lot of female. If you guys want to come up, I'll be happy to have your side of it. Come on up, camera on, mic on.
Where's drop the link and then I'll copy and paste it because
I already dropped it on top. I can redrop it for you.
Oh no, if you got it on top,
I
I'll
pinned it already.
pin it on mine also.
Fucking boss man. Of course he's gonna say something like that. You're fucking married. Of course you're gonna say that. But seriously, if you guys want to join, please come on. We'd love to have you. I love to hear your opinions. You're welcome. Come on. It's the only rules I have is camera on, mic on. Simple as that. As you're doing that, I'm going to get the next video going for us.
All right. And then I've got it pinned over on my channel too. Boom. It's up at the top of the chat, people. Boom. All right. So what you got for the next one?
Yeah, I'm going to put it right now. Just trying to find the right one. Oops, wrong one.
Bro, you got the girls mad, bro.
Oopsies. I didn't worse.
Wedding bells have just been removed from your future, Patrick. You gotta update your wants list, buddy.
All right, ready?
Yep.
Like, don't ever sit up and think that they're like, all of them are just fucking off. They don't know what they're doing. They're young, it's hurt, whatever. There are good men. Like, I didn't came across them. There are good men. It's just like the process of finding them. God damn. Like, don't nobody want to deal with that. Like, don't ever sit up and think.
Dude, I tell you what. She's like, I'll be finding them. And then she probably gonna be like, oh, but they're boring. Or like, I'm like, okay, so if she's finding them and she's saying multiple, that means that this chick is stepping over good dudes to go get her feelings hurt elsewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, and it's like, that's the issue. It's like, if you're a stand-up guy, and like, I can totally understand that sentiment because I'm very boring. Like, I'm not necessarily out here in these streets.
I am too.
And I'm like, I want to go to work. I want to come home. I have my standards on what I would want to marry. So there's just like, it's just what it is. And like, I can kick it and I can have fun and I can step out a little bit when I want to. But honestly, like, I just want to work, come home, work on the stuff that I want to work on and make money. That's what I'm doing. And then like, I schedule stuff to have people be a part of that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I'm not about to sit here and just be obligated to something because chicks they're finicky. They're all finicky. Like, they all got, like, especially the older you get, they just got baggage and trauma.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree with you 100% on that. What's going on, my man? How are you tonight?
Razik.
Can you hear us?
You over there looking like Tech Nine hiding in the truck.
I don't think you can hear us.
Bro, turn on Red Kingdom and maybe he'll start rapping.
You hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can
you
hear
good, you
you. He had to wait for his internet to connect, bro.
All right, god damn, man. Hey,
So
look,
you over there getting your Tech Nine on, bro?
nah, bro. You know what I'm saying? Getting you ready to head out. I just had him for my hair. You know what I'm saying? Rap. You know what I mean? That's all.
Bro, you had the shadows and shit. I thought you was trying to be Tech Nine for Halloween, bro.
Nah, bro. But hey, look, I ain't gonna be long as always. But I just kind of like the one to chime in. You know what I'm saying? I was the one. You know what I'm saying? You know, saying all of the harsh shit in the chat.
But no, it might be harsh, but you have a good point. I'll give you credit when it's due. You do have some good points what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, and I've had these talks with you know what I'm saying, Ray, you know what I'm saying, like for you know what I'm saying a while, but and don't get me wrong, like, like I love, you know what I'm saying, chicks, you know what I'm saying, like, how they look, you know what I mean, blah blah blah, whatever, right? But the difference between me is like I don't ever negotiate, you know what I'm saying, with any broad. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always
Mhm.
my way or or my way. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the reason why I do that is because, you know what I'm saying, like
Mhm.
I particularly don't care if she chooses to stay or leave. But I always give a you know what I'm saying, a chick like the option. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to be beat, you know what I'm saying, over here. And I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But if you're going to be over here, you know what I'm saying? The one thing, the main thing that you know what I'm saying, am going to ask is that you are able to listen and you are able to comprehend what I tell you to do. You know what I'm saying? That's it. This shit ain't got nothing to do with like 50, 50, bro. And Ghost, and I'm gonna tell you, like, Ray has seen me in real life.
Mhm.
I am 5'9", a buck 80. Uh, all of this, like, you got to be 6 feet and all of this shit. I ain't never in my life, bro. I'm 42. I ain't never in my life had a bitch ever ask me, well, hey, yo, how tall are you? Or, you know what I'm saying? What do you do for work and all of this shit? How much money do you make? What's in your savings account? You have a brokerage. You got a 401k. I ain't never had a bitch ever ask me that ever in life, bro. Ever. I mean, I'm 42. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? Like,
Bro,
and it's
if
just,
they
it's
start
just,
asking
it's
about
just
your
funny.
401k, you need to get up and leave.
No, I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, like I'm being funny, but I'm just saying, bro. Like the way, and particularly like the way I hear like a lot of young guys talk to girls, you can tell like they're just scared. They're just
Yeah,
scared,
because they never went outside, bro.
right?
What
And
do you
see,
expect?
look,
They
and this
stayed
is why I
inside the
talk.
whole time.
Look, and this is the way I, you know what I'm saying. This is why I talk, you know what I'm saying. The way I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, and a lot of times, like, dudes are really scared to being like, well, is she going to like me? I'm like, nigga, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna change. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like, it's so many females out here in the world. Like, these bitches all talking like, well, I'm the table man. Like, all right, bitch, yeah, whatever. I don't give a fuck about any of that shit. Because, you know what I'm saying? In this household, bitch, you going to bow down to me at all times.
Dang. Roz said it.
At all times. So, I mean, hey, look, if you want to negotiate, you know what I'm saying, you're with your chick, and you want to believe in that 50-50 and all of this, and, and when chicks call you their partner and all of that, man, you are asking to be abused. I'm
You're,
telling
I mean,
you.
you got to go 50-50, Roz, or your family ain't never going to be rich, bro. It's just not going to happen.
No, you don't. All you have to do is just
Hey,
stay.
bro. Hey, okay.
Stay
So you and then niggas wondering why the Indians and the Asian people are doing better than them indefinitely and in perpetuity. That's why, because y'all can't suck your pride up. That's why.
And
Your
we're not,
households make more money than you do. It doesn't matter how much money you make as an individual. You get 2 engineers in a house, you have lost.
All right,
no,
here,
And we've
I have a
continued to
saying.
lose. Like the
I
numbers are
do,
what they are.
no, look,
Most women,
I do agree, but but I'm just saying, like, outside from, what I'm saying, like, what you work, and I think, like, really, like, the underlying conversation that y'all are really trying to have is, like,
Yeah.
who you are as a man. It's not necessarily about, what I'm saying, like, how much money you got. Because, I mean, if we all see rich, what I'm saying, people who got millions of dollars, and these are your niggas trick on broads. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, so
Yeah.
if you don't have the financial intelligence when it comes to money and what to do with it, you know what I'm saying? Then regardless of how much money you make doesn't necessarily mean anything if you're not being able to garner the cooperation from the opposite sex. Like, honestly.
Right, right. But I mean, it's also the reason. I mean, if you're a guy who's a quote unquote high value man, I'm going to say quote unquote because again, subjective. But if you're tricking off on chicks, you're not building shit either. Like so you're doing 2 totally different actions. Like if you're out here just tricking off on chicks and then doing anything and everything to just appease these chicks and getting walked all over, then like you don't have standards, you don't have self-confidence, and you don't have a trajectory for where you're going. You need someone to come in and lead you.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
so
So
I have a
I mean,
saying. Hang on a second. All right, I have a saying. What most women, not all women, most women want. It's called a BBD, bigger, better deal.
I mean,
If you
isn't
get,
that what most men want too? Well, actually, we're lazy though. That's the issue.
That ain't true, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, the reason why I say that, like, you can't fault, what I'm saying, a female for wanting whatever it is that she, what I'm saying, wants. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? The only thing, and I think, and this is where I was telling you about the negotiation. Like, I don't care what she wants. I don't give a fuck. Like, and I think, like, when y'all emphasize, and I ain't saying like y'all like YouTube, but I'm just saying, like, in generally speaking,
Yeah.
when guys in general, when you value what the female wants over you, like, you've already lost.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, and,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, and I told somebody else this a while back. I was like, bro, it don't matter if you want to play video games, fly a kite, you know what I'm saying? Fucking go to them from the zoo, putt golf, nigga. It don't matter. Like, if you just like to take an hour-long drive just to be driving around the city. If a female likes you, bro, she's going to want to come because she wants to be around you simply for you being who you are. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, like, you really have to be confident as a man in who you are, regardless of what she says. You know what I'm saying? The burden of proof is on you. It's not on her.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like, we as men, we hold the burden of proof, not them. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you know what I mean? Regardless, look, let me tell you something. If you win, it's your fault. If you
Mm-hmm.
lose, it's your fault. If it's a
Yep.
draw, it's your fault. It doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter. So get ready to assume the brunt of everything is going to come your way. Whether or not,
Mm-hmm.
if it's gold, if it's bronze pennies, if it's Bitcoin, it doesn't matter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter. It don't matter, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop
Yeah.
wavering and stop negotiating with women. You tell them what it is. You be direct. Do not lie to them. Give them the option. And tell them you don't have to be over here. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you want to be over here, this is what I require at all times.
Mm-hmm.
You do that, we ain't gonna have no issues. The moment you know what I'm saying, step out of that, I'm gonna have to bend you over and spank your ass. So, you know what I mean? Now, and look, I'm gonna say this. I'm going for it. But even going back to like the bad boy and the thug thing, okay? The only reason why, and I've told you right, like, it's not necessarily about you wearing your pants off your ass and you being a gangster or a gangbanger. It ain't talking about any of that. What I
Yeah.
mean by that is how you think, like how you conduct yourself in the manner, you know what I'm saying, when you're around a chick. And you know, and I say that, you know what I mean, like when you look at like how like nice guys
Yeah.
finish last, is because they negotiate. Like they'll ask her, hey, honey, what do you want to do? What do you know what I'm saying? Hey, does this tie look, you know what I'm saying, good on me? You know what I mean? Or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they'll always ask the girl to thinking that he gotta get approval from her. You know what I'm saying? Like approve of your own self, bro. As a man. When you look yourself in the mirror, make sure you approve of you.
Mm-hmm.
Like honestly.
All right, that makes sense.
So, but yeah, man. But look, I appreciate you, Ghost. Hey, Ray, man. You know, I'm gonna hit you up, and you know what I'm saying. We're
Yes,
gonna
sir.
argue some more. You know what I'm saying?
You're always welcome to come back on anytime you want, my man. All right.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate
All right,
you.
brother. Thank you for coming.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. Before we get too into it, let me play the next video I have for us because
Get
it
it.
was a little. This one I haven't fully watched, to be honest with you. Let me find it. I started watching, but I didn't finish it.
There's some good men's out there. But then what it is now, it's the women. It ain't the men no more. The women's gone bad. The women's gone bad. It ain't the men's now. It's the women done gone bad.
You gonna flip the script on us?
Yeah, it's the women done gone.
You a woman yourself.
I'm a woman myself, but I don't do half the things I see these women do now.
They don't care no more.
Cause that's when the men don't respect them. That's why. Let me tell you something, Amber. You got to give a man respect to get respect. You know what I'm saying? You got to give your husband respect to get respect.
Yep.
What do you think about that one, Ray?
I mean, the old heads will tell you themselves. I mean, like look when Bennett rolls through. Dude been out the market for like what 20 something years.
29, I think.
Yeah, almost 30 years. Yeah, so obviously there's some good ones. Like, what are you talking about? Like, or is Bennett just like trapped his wife in the basement?
I'll be honest with you. I have met Bennett several times in person. The last time I met him, I met his wife actually.
Mm-hmm.
She's a sweetheart.
Yeah,
And he literally got a lucky one there. I have told him multiple
I
times.
don't know that he got lucky. There's plenty of people who are like have been
The
married.
reason I
for
said
30
lucky because how sweet the woman she is. You know what I'm saying?
It's the timing. It's the
There you go.
timing
You hit
that
it.
he got married. Everyone that we know who is happily married is also what? Old. Like they're multiple generations older than we are.
I'll
You
give
know
you a
what
better
I'm saying?
example. I'll give you a better example. My best friend CQ,
Mm-hmm.
his wife, the sweetest woman ever, but don't piss her off. Trust me, I've been on her bad side. She scares me very bad. But anyway, she is the sweetest woman possible, and they make it work.
Mm-hmm.
20 years marriage, and
Yeah,
they make it
but
work.
you know what they didn't have 20 years ago? The internet. For real, like the real internet. They wouldn't swiping
You know
right
what?
or left. Everything wasn't instantly available. You can't. The issue is, and this is for everybody. I'm not going to say that it's just women. Nobody wants to work. Like if you have any inclination to cheat, it's readily available. It's an app away, which is the reason I'm like, there's no, like for me, I don't see the point in the West in dating because like I said, it goes back to culture. Our culture is degenerate and trash. American culture is garbage. Like people come here to get money. They do not come here because the culture's great. Like we destroy other cultures. Like we make people degenerates. So no, like people don't value marriage and family. Like most American women don't even want to have fucking kids. So like, okay, cool. But like the fuck, dude? Like you're literally put on this planet to do one thing, swap fluids and procreate. And like people don't even want to fucking do that. Like it's insane. And everything is microwave. So if everything's readily available, then everything's readily available. If you have any inclination to step out, it's right there. Available, one swipe away for women. Men, you got like about 1,000 swipes, but like it'll show up eventually, probably. Like it's just so blasé that it's like there's no point in working with people. And then like by the time you get to the space that I'm at right now, it's like I'm so focused on other shit that I don't notice when people like I don't care when people leave. I'm like, I have other fucking shit to do. Like I've got stuff, there's money to get. They'll be like, I'm not talking to you anymore. Great. I'll be getting money during that time too. Like, whatever. But it's because people just don't give a fuck. I'm like, I don't even need to like really go out of my way to fucking replace people at this point. I'm like, I have the ability to be so busy that I'm like, it costs me money to stop.
Yeah, right.
So,
Hang on 1 second. Let's get this guy in here really fast. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the president. Mr. President, welcome back.
All right, I had to jump on. I heard you saying smack about my wife, so I had to get up here.
Mac, I was giving you a compliment. She's a
my
sweetheart.
wife was a saint.
This
Will
sweet
Smith
little
invented
thing. Yeah.
Will Smith, keep my wife's name out your damn mouth.
Are you going to do a Will Smith slap on me or Ray?
No Will Smith.
No, Bennett's gonna. You're the one who brought his wife up.
I didn't say anything bad. I said she's a sweetheart. How am I getting? I mean, a bad guy here.
Just razzing on you, bro.
Yeah, I know. So, Paul, what's your opinion about this topic tonight?
You know, so I kind of wanted to see how the conversation flowed because initially I was saying, this is more, maybe for single guys' perspective or what have you, but I may come at it from a spiritual level. I think the measure of goodness for me, it really comes from God's requirement for good, not so much what other people, man or woman, thinks about me. So my, as a Christ follower, my thing is I look at Jesus as like the ultimate example of goodness. So I'm like, what did he do? And how did he move? And how did he walk? And how did he operate? And I think that's always been a measure for me as far as what a good man is. So a good man, first and foremost, walks uprightly, does the right things, seeks in terms of his personal conduct and character, is always in the process of developing that for his own sake, and certainly in order that what is pleasing to God. So I think it starts there. I think if you define goodness by how other people define you, how a woman defines you, or how men define you as good, I think you're always going to be in that game of trying to please other people. And so I think you have to start with a more inward foundation of what, have a standard of what goodness is, and then are you pursuing that in the act, conscious act of pursuing? Everyone's going to be at a different level with that. Everyone has different struggles with that, but I think that's where it starts. So again, to walk uprightly, to be empathetic. Again, I look at Jesus as a very empathetic figure. Talk to everybody, made everybody feel welcome in his presence. Essentially, the only people who got really pissed off around Jesus was kind of uppity religious folks who kind of had the monopoly on religious practice. They didn't like him at all because he was wrecking their profit margins. And so when he stuck up for people, this is the guy who went and changed the money changers over and whatnot. You turn my house of prayer into a den of thieves. He was willing to speak truth to power. So he was fearless. He was bold. He was, very much someone who had the capacity for empathy for the least of these, but would step up and speak to authority when need be. So again, it's that balance of steel and velvet, And so I think, and everybody he dealt with as an individual. Mm-hmm. And so, so this is a thing, when people talk about how a man or woman should move in a relationship, every relationship's going to be different. You might be with a woman who may need more empathy or compassion. I know Ray, he was talking about, just fixing things or whatever, but look, maybe you do need to listen. Simply for the fact that, yes, you can solve it, but maybe she's in the way she's asking you for more. Can you be that for her? And that doesn't make you less of a man if you take that time to to give her what she needs. We all talk about the 5 love languages.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody gets love differently. For some people, just your time. So you might be like, look, I need to go, I need to do business, I need to do all these things or whatever, but she just wants you to tell, I know you could be making money and doing other things elsewhere, but can you just give me just your undivided attention for the time that I need it? And of course, there's limit. I mean, you have to balance that. Everything is about balance. But everyone gets love differently. I don't need my wife, for example, to cook for me because I've been cooking since age 8. So I know how to cook. She'll say to this day, I'm a better cook than she is. That's not the point. But the ways I need to be loved, I asked for. We talked about this on the gray area. What does it mean to say I love you?
Mm-hmm.
That's a conversation in terms of, look, this is what I need to be and feel loved. That needs to be communicated. And then the question after that is, okay, well, can I do that? Can we work out an agreement? Can we make out an arrangement where we both get what we want in this deal? So again, I don't agree with 50-50 anything. It's always going to be about, it all depends on what's required. You got 2 able-bodied people working careers. Like I said, you talk about the Asian Indians and all these other people. Yeah, I live around these folks. I know them very well. And the money thing isn't really a factor. The woman isn't just home birthing kids and staying home getting pregnant. No, she's got a career too.
Mm-hmm.
They work things out. So I think a good person is one who can adapt to whatever the situation requires. If you decided that I want to be with this person and that person decides they want to be with me, then how do we negotiate this? How do we work this out in a way where we can be what the other person needs to be? And I think that's really where it is. So I think the idea of goodness, because, and even a way, even if I try to even compare myself to God, says I'm not good at all. But again, it's always the constant striving to be better. So I never say, am I a good person or not? Really, I think the conversation needs to be, am I getting better? Am I trying to be better than I was yesterday or the day before or the year before? The same thing in my marriage. I don't know if I have a good marriage or not. I'm just trying to make this year better than it was last year and take it 1 year at a time. I talk about that in the last show in terms of seasons. I mean, Kansas City looks like they're going to win another Super Bowl, but they still have to ask the question, even if they win. They have to ask themselves next year, how can we be better? And so to me, that's the thing. To me, a good man is one who always seeks to be better than what he was, can be honest with himself. What do I need to change? What do I need to do? How do I progress? How can I be a better version of myself? Because when I'm that version, then I can be of use. I know, Ray, you talked about that earlier, to be of use to others.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to be better myself. That has to be something that's internal to me. And so when I look at men, especially now, I got 3 daughters of dating age. That's what I look for in men. I'm not looking for a static product, a snapshot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the direction that you're going in. Are you trying to be better? So you could be in school, you could be grinding, getting your certifications. As long as I see that, if I talk to you, do I see a plan? And I don't care if you're making 30K, 40K, 50K, 100K. Are you, that can't be, bro. I hear you. But I'm just saying, but are you in that sort of forward progress? Are you, is your pride such with that you may be, you may have to take on a second job? Let's say if you're not making enough money, are you willing to work at a 7-Eleven or McDonald's or whatever it is to make extra money to get what you need to get without worrying about what people may think about that? Oh, you work at McDonald's, you're a professional, but you work at McDonald's or whatever it is, overnight security, whatever it is to you to get to what you need to get to. I'm paying for courses. I'm going to school. And look, I need another $10,000. Well, you can easily make $10,000 making minimum wage. In New Jersey, it's like $16 an hour. 4, 5, 6 hours a week, that's $10,000. I'm not going to hate on a guy for that. So again, I think that these standards of what we may consider good, that's going to differ for a lot of people. And I think a lot of people in general, men and women, miss out on what a good person is. I mean, and goodness is not measured by your status. Because again, those Asian Indian communities and whatnot, they operate on a lot of status. I've seen it. Caste systems and all that. And it doesn't matter how good the guy is or what he's trying to do or whatever. They're saying, well, if you're not of this, then you're no good. And I reject that entirely. But social classes and whatnot, I don't think those are good measures of it either. I think someone like Ray, with his work ethic and grind, would be in other standards good for most. I don't care what your socioeconomic
They ain't trying to deal with me. They don't want that discipline. I'm just saying.
They
ain't trying to be disciplined though.
I'm just saying, but I'm giving you your flowers. I'm just saying, like, you're gonna have some folks is like, oh, well, because he's this, because he's black, because he comes from this, where's his dad, they would just label all this stuff on you and label that, okay, you're not good enough.
Yeah.
And I'm saying the way we measure that stuff is not the measure of the man.
Well, I'd agree with that, but I'm like, I mean, you can throw whatever you want out there. I'm like, you can just look at me. Like, we can put the numbers out. Like, anything that's measurable, I'll beat you at.
And I'm saying,
like, that's all.
I got it. And I'm saying that there's people who, again, can't recognize or see. People are walking blindly because, again, their standards of what is good or what is good enough. You're not good enough for my daughter because just how you look now. Oh, he's wearing a baseball cap and he's got, no, I mean, not for my daughter. Again, that guy would be an idiot. But again, the social mores or what that society requires may disqualify someone like Ray or Peter for that matter. And I'm saying, look, so again, we have to go, I think, off of, if we want to talk about goodness, so what designates a good man, I think some of that language has to change. And I think how those, how we look at things has to change. But it starts with the individual. You always be in the process of improving.
Yep.
And if other people see that, then those are the people who you deal with. So again, I never worried about, when I was going through my process, I never worried about how good I was. That never came into my mind. Would I be good enough for someone? I never thought about it. The only question I asking was, look, here is who I am. This is who I am. Do you want to deal with that or not?
Mm-hmm.
My wife said, yeah, I can rock with this. She read my document. She was like, okay, I can rock with this.
You had a document?
You never heard the story?
You had a document.
You never heard the story? All this time, Ray, you never heard my story?
No.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I'll give you the Cliff Notes version of it. So around the time I was looking to get married, it's about 1995. I was coming out of an auto accident. Took me a couple years to recover and whatnot. So at that time, I decided that, I wanted to be married. Plus, I also became Christian as well. And I wasn't going to be out there fornicating. So I was like, all right, in order for me to have sex, I need a wife. And in order for that to happen, I also need to learn what it means to be a husband. So I got some counseling in terms of how to be what a husband is. And one of the guys who mentored me, he was like, you need to write down what you want. Because I would constantly tell people, Lee, I want to get married. What do you want? So I was explaining it. So part of it also is I got tired of explaining it.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, write down what you want. So I started with a skeletal outline. Black woman, I want certain things, I want attributes or whatever, boom, boom, boom. And then I felt that I needed to flesh it out. Because if I'm going to give this to somebody, it needs to have some context. So I started just like how you write an essay, right? You start with the main idea. Yeah. You start with an outline, and then you fill it in. So it just morphed into 4 pages. Now, as I dated at the same time, every date that I went on,
You added
I
to
either
it.
added or contextualized what I meant for something. So, like I said, I wanted a Christian woman, but I went out with a lot of different varieties of Christian out there. And I was like, I need to talk about this a little bit more. I need to define this more granularly, because I went out with Seventh-day Adventists, and I went out with Catholic, and I went out with all kinds of crazy stuff. And I was like, no, Christian is too broad a term. So I had to talk about what I believed and why. And again, do you fit that category? And so with every date that I went on, it just refined the document. So I would come home and I would get on my Mac or whatever, and I would just update the document. It would just be like, all right, went on that date, this went well, this didn't go well, update, and then recirculate. And I was literally, again, this is just before the internet popped off. This is like 1995, 1996.
Yeah.
So I literally printed copies, and I had copies with me. And I just distributed anywhere that I was. I would be in a restaurant with some friends, and if I saw a couple, like an older black couple, I would literally go up to them and I would ask. I would say, hello, my name is Paul Bennett, and I'm looking for a wife. Here's a document. I have my phone number on it and my email address. Here's what I'm looking for. And if you know somebody who might be interested based on what they're reading, then I would appreciate they give me a call. And I was getting calls. I was getting contacts from people I didn't know. So I would ask, like, who gave you the document? I didn't know that person. And they said, well, they get it from somebody, and I didn't know them. Someone faxed it over to them. So it was like going viral before viral was viral. You know what I mean? It was just. But again, I didn't care about goodness. I'm like, look, here I am. This is who I am. I was willing to talk to 99 just to get the one.
Yeah.
And so I don't ask these questions about, well, are there any good women out there? Or any good black women out there? Any good black men? I don't operate in that space, because this isn't sales where you need volume. This is selection where I only need one. So I want to clear the field. Stuff that I said in the document, like I said, being bold and being fearless about what you want. And so I knew that some of the stuff that I was saying would turn some women off. Good. I just need a few, just 2, 3, 4 women out of hundreds of women who'd be like, this is interesting or whatever. But again, I had my aunt came up to me, and she was concerned with my mental health. She's like, something's wrong. We need to talk.
Did she read your document?
Yeah, she did. Well, see, here's the thing. She did a cursory overview of it. But here's another benefit of the document. It became an excellent conversation starter, because, as I'm sure you know, sometimes the hardest thing on a date is to start a conversation. I mean, it may not happen for you,
right?
But sometimes just starting a conversation, getting a conversation going, sometimes it's hard. Well, guess what? We got an automatic conversation starter right there. So if she wants to go, hey, I read on page 3, paragraph 4, what did you mean by this? I'm glad you asked. Now we can have a conversation. So again, I went over it with my aunt. And I went over exactly what I was trying to say, and she was like, "You know what? That does make sense. Okay, all right, boy, you're not going crazy. Okay, but that's what happened. And I met my wife at work. Again, wouldn't do that again, but obviously back then times were a little bit different.
Right.
Met her at work.
I think
really
the
wasn't
proper term to that, Paul, is you won't do it at this time of
this
age.
time, yeah. Dating in the office, I wouldn't recommend that to anybody, and I wouldn't even open that door unless the person would say leaving.
Nope, don't even do it then, because listen, buyer's remorse for women comes with a lawsuit, bro. like that's all I'm gonna say. Like, you gonna end up getting Me Too'd out of your job if shit don't go well. Even if she led, you will get fired. It's
even
not
if she did what?
If she was leading and something
No, I didn't
happened,
say I didn't say leading. I said leaving.
Oh, leaving. Okay, I was about to say.
So we in office,
run from women at work.
We feeling, hey, how you doing? Whatever. Now, if you leave or if you're leaving, you're resigning, you're leaving the company.
Yes. Okay.
Then I may reach out and say, hey, let's keep in touch or whatever. Blah blah blah.
Because she might, something didn't work out between you guys, and she's sour. She has friends in the company. She can, kind of like twist things around through her friends.
Nah, that's not as bad as somebody who's physically there in the office and you guys break up
that's
and
a
then
yeah.
she's like, I didn't
Again, you
want to
can only
sleep with him
go
anyway. And now
you can only get too paranoid with this stuff.
Yeah.
So again, but again, that would be something I may entertain. Where you because you can know, like you're kind of in the office, you kind of like each other, or you can tell she's attracted to you or you're attracted to her. But again, you don't let it go anywhere because. Again, it's not a good. You don't eat where you plow. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
again,
plow
or you plow.
Yeah. Always got to take it there, right? All right.
Yeah.
But yes.
All right. Let's play the next video because this goes to what you were saying earlier, Ray.
I say, when you buy a car, you try multiple cars. You drive multiple cars. You look at multiple houses. Why is it that you just got one person? And then what you do is, then you feel like you've been betrayed when it doesn't work out. When you spend 6-8 months to find out the person, because you don't know how to go deeper. You don't know how to get to find out if the person is in alignment with you, is compatible with you. You've never done that, and then you feel like you've wasted your time. And now you say, all men are pieces of shit. But they're not all pieces of shit, because they're not. There's some good men out there. Y'all, if I'm going to tell y'all what I've been doing soon, but I can't tell you right now. I'm on the contract. But I can't tell you. But it's some good men out there.
Who want to take that first?
I'll take it. Again, going back to my example, I don't know if my wife was the one, or at least I didn't know at the time, but she was a one, and that's all I was looking for. You know what I'm saying? But that started out with, again, I knew what I wanted. And again, it didn't have to be 100%. If I got 80% of what I wanted, I'm good. But I'm going to put it out there. And so, again, was she the one, for me? I think that came over time. Where it's like I look back over, and, sometimes you look back over women who you thought were hot back in the day, and now they're no longer. Are they like, you look at years later, I'm like, yeah, like, always getting this thing. It's like, yeah, Paul, you did good. Yeah. You picked the right one. You picked the right one. So, but at the time, she was just the one that fit. So for me, I'm not worried about, well, what if there might be others out there and I'm just dealing with the one? If the one is doing it for you, then the one is doing it for you. But do you know what you want? And if you are messing with somebody who's fulfilling that, then why go outside and why add all that extra drama and all that extra baggage to your life? Because you think the grass is greener somewhere else. Are you willing to give up something that's good, that's going good for you because, or maybe your girlfriends are telling you, oh, there's got, you should try, you shouldn't be just one person. Maybe you just date other people or whatnot. That's stupid. What they say, a bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. That old one. So if you got the bird in the hand, then why do you think there's something better out there? So I disagree with some of that because, but again, if you don't know what you want, and if you think you got to go through several people to kind of help you clarify that, again, I went through a little bit of that through the dating. Like I said, every date I went on, it helped to clarify more about what I didn't want and help me get more clear about what I did want. So I think some of that is useful. But once you know what you want, and if you find somebody who can fit that, you hold on to it. And when I found my wife, yeah, could I went on more? Could I entertain more women and whatnot? It's like, no, I'm rocking with you. And it was such where I never had to go anywhere else. So again, it's based on you. What do you want? Do you know what you want? Or are you using dating in order to flesh that out? I think you may find times in your life where both of those are going to be in play. But for someone who's serious, again, we talk about these men, if you know what you want, you marry a work girl like that. You're not waiting 2, 3, 4 years to marry somebody. So you're going, we can go to, like I said, last couple weeks ago, went down to the county office to renew my dog license. There were 2 weddings right there. Latino couple, young. I mean, these kids probably no longer than 21 years of age. Getting married. Had the witness there, the hot auntie. She was in this red dress and everything. You know, had a hot Latino auntie or whatever. She was there as the witness. You had another couple there. It was like an Asian Indian couple. Cost of the marriage was $125. Signed the marriage license. Boom. One of the county representatives from my township was there. He was going to officiate the wedding. Boom. Done. So when you talk about, oh, well, we've been engaged for 5 years. What? Nah, that ain't. If you're going to be that long engaged to somebody, it's not legit. Or you're not serious about what you want. You're just trying to keep somebody from leaving, but you ain't serious about marrying somebody. It should not take you 5 years to marry somebody. So when I hear 5-year engagements, I'm like, not going to last.
Ray, what do you think?
I mean, he just described just stay single. In my opinion, like if I understand everything that he's saying, and I get it, but like then you just don't commit. Like I don't like cheating never made sense to me ever in my life. Like it just sounds like a bunch of extra fucking work. Because now you got to lie to somebody and be nice to another person. Like this, it's crazy. So in that scenario, you just don't commit. Like I'm currently in a space I do not believe that anyone in the West deserves me exclusively. I don't believe it right now. Like I'm not seeing anything culturally here that would make me go, you know what? I'm going to cash my chips. And I'm like, everything that I'm doing is focused on being like, yo, like I'll sort this shit out after I'm out of the country. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't. It's just what it is. I'm like, I will focus on work. I will work my ass off. And then, you know what? As soon as I don't have to go to work or don't have to be in one physical location all the time, I'm going to start traveling around. I'll find out where I want to live somewhere with a better culture than here. And I'll get a wife there. Simple. Because I'm going to still be in good shape. I'm still going to have money. Like, just what it is. It's just, if you're not appreciated where you're at, then fucking go somewhere where you're appreciated. Like, this is not rocket science. But one thing you don't have to do is lock people up into an obligation to not do what they want to do so that you can go sneak around and do what you want to do. Like, that's just a dick move. Like, and you know, like I don't know. Like it's just people. It goes back to expectation. People put so much expectation on other people. I'd rather you do nothing for me than expect anything from me, because that's the way that I deal with people. I'm like, if I feel like I'm gonna be expecting some shit from you for whatever I've got to do, I'm not gonna do it. Like I just won't do it. Which that seems to be the piece of it that people. Like, I don't even know how to articulate it correctly. Like, it seems like everybody's working so hard at not getting hurt and managing expectation and being like, oh, well, I'm not doing this unless he does that. And I'm not going to treat her like this unless she's doing this. Like, no, you just treat everybody good and just don't give a fuck if they leave. It's that simple. Or just stay your ass at home. Like, that's also an option. You can just be an incel. Just stay at home, like, and opt out of it. Because, I mean, I don't understand why. Like, this life is short. That's the first thing. So, like, it just doesn't make sense to me how you're going to just play that close to the vest, worried about somebody hurting your feelings. How about this? Just don't give a fuck and just treat people fucking great. And then when they leave, just be like, cool, fuck you. Like, the punishment is I'm not going to be around you. Honestly, like if you're a good, decent person, the reason people will hate you, like if your exes hate you for a legitimate reason, that's one thing. Most of mine hate me because of the lack of access. Because they got to go be in the world with every fucking body else. And I'm going to improve. And I keep getting better. I'm like, I'm going to look better next year. I'm going to have more money next year. And I'm going to still be nice to you. And I'll just never date you again. It's going to fucking drive you crazy. Like, because there's just no reason to navigate any other way. And I'd rather have chicks be like, oh, well, you treat everybody like that. You're goddamn right I do. Because one day when I get married, I don't have to worry about switching gears. I can just continue being fucking awesome, doing exactly what I was going to do anyways, what I've consistently always done, for someone who will just appreciate it. And then like they get to reap all the benefits of that for however much of my life's left. So, I mean, it just doesn't, like, there's the way that this culture has devolved is insane. Because, I mean, to Travel One's point, your great granddaddy was cheating on your grandma and she loved his ass. like everybody now is literally unhappy, miserable, and out here with armor on trying to talk about I can't get into a relationship. It's probably because you showed up in a freaking howitzer talking about come in here and love me.
Right. There's a great example. Like somebody, I don't want to put his business out too much. I know it's already out there. He put it on the air, but it was one of my good friends. He just found out after 40 years, his father is not his fucking father.
Yeah.
So I think you know who I'm talking about, Paul, already.
Yeah.
So it's just, you never know. And you know, I always tell people that who were like, oh my God, if I had the opportunity, I would do this and this with this other woman. Like, but you have a girl. Do you remember the feeling and how you were crushed and your heart was broken when you were cheated on? Like, yeah. Why do it to her? Oh,
yep.
You have a good point. Yeah. I never thought cheating was cool. I think it was the worst thing ever. I would always recommend to anybody, if you're going to cheat, just break up with the person. Because it's less painful to break up than cheating, I think. That's my personal opinion again.
I agree.
Yeah. So let's get into the next video.
Like, I don't know. Nobody looks at, and I know you guys are single and you know, active like that, but do you guys ever think about the dangers of sexual activity?
No.
I mean, is that
we live in YOLO out here, bro.
I'm just kidding.
No,
honestly, you don't know me. No one's getting tested.
You gotta understand though. Like, honestly, like, I ain't out here like that. Like, I go to work, come home, and go to the gym. Like, I have, like, at this point, honestly, if I don't know you already, especially after the whole politics thing, like, if I don't already fucking know you, like, I'm probably not gonna have sex with you, to be honest. Like, you're gonna have to go through a vetting process and like sign an NDA and a consent agreement at this point. Like, because people are fucking weird and they're being weirder every day. So I'm just like, yo, y'all ain't about to fucking Me Too my ass because I didn't vote the way that you wanted. Like, it's not happening. So like, that
I agree with Ray. Is you have to go through a process with me too.
Yeah.
Is like a good 6 months plus when I'm getting to know somebody new. If I know you already, it's a different story.
Yeah.
But I really
so you would date. So you would date for someone for 6 months before having sex with them?
Yeah, that's my.
I mean,
rule.
if we're actually,
no, I'm just asking.
If we're actually dating, but like, I mean, honestly, like, I'm not. Like I said, like, if dating implies a relationship, and I was just like, oh, I'm leaving. Like, that's, I mean, it's gonna be like, yo, like, you got like 30 good months left, and I'm fucking out of here. Good luck.
Okay, so take the dating out of it in terms of relationship, but just sex.
So for me, no, it's definitely not going to not be 6 months unless I'm still banging somebody while we're getting to know each other.
Right,
Like,
and I'm saying, but you never worry about the risks that come with that pregnancy, unwanted pregnancy, or
HIVs.
diseases, or that.
I mean, for me, it would be more unwanted pregnancy, but I mean, honestly, it's just cheaper to have a kid out of wedlock at this point. So. I mean, I've won my genetics and then I can die. So like, like that's, I don't really worry about that. Like I'm a pretty decent discerner of people. I'm going to knock on some fucking wood, but like I said, like, it's people that I know.
Your name is Reckless Ray. So I'm going to assume you weren't always,
I don't look,
you were more reckless at some point in your life.
This is the thing though. Like, if I get a sense that like you out here in these streets like that, like, I'm falling back off of that. Cause like, there's other people I could have sex with that I'm like, yo, like, I'm not worried that you're out here just getting banged out all the time.
It
like,
only takes one though.
That's true. But like, if it's look, you should let defeat be a surprise for everyone. And I'm not about to sit out here and be like, yo, I know you getting banged out here in these streets by a bunch of dusties. I'm gonna join that club. Like, I'm just gonna be like, I'm not gonna dip in that pool.
No, I'm
like,
not saying that. I'm saying the girl, she may not be necessarily she might have had like maybe one instance with a guy who was loose or whatever. He gave her something, and then you get with her, she doesn't have the body count, but she may have a body or two, and that one so happened to be somebody who gave her something. I mean,
Right, here's the question, Paul. How do you know she's honest about her body count? Maybe she's lying.
Well, I mean, Paul, from that logic, though, hold on one second. From that logic, I mean, like, you got all these people that are happily married down in Atlanta, and the spouses is getting diseases because the dudes is zesty. Like, I mean,
yeah, that's true.
Matter.
No, I, yeah, but
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's one of those acceptable risks that we fucking take just existing in this.
And that's fair. I mean, there's no
yeah,
judgment.
I'm like,
I'm just
even if it was 6 months, 2 weeks,
you could sit on
a
a public bus in the wrong seat with a needle in it and get AIDS at this point. Like,
even a tortoise seat, you can catch diseases.
Yeah,
I'm being serious about that too.
It's just we're living in unhinged times. That's the reality.
And you're right. But also, Paul, it doesn't matter if it's 2 weeks, a day, 6 months, or even a year. You really don't know. Sometimes you have. And
I'm just saying, like, look. If I'm gonna get killed, then let it be somebody that I know, bro. like,
it's a good possibility out there. Ray might have little mini Rays running around out there. He doesn't know. And 6 years later, like, they come to knock on the door, and Fal's like, Dada. And Ray goes,
that would be wild. That
hey,
would
bro.
be
No, they got 30 months to find me, and I'm gonna be out this bitch. Good luck.
That would be hilarious.
Yo, funny story. Well, my buddies in the military, every year during Father's Day, he gets very nervous because he slept around during the military. Let's be straight up here.
Is that the only time that people come find you?
In his case, it was. So every year he was nervous. So he goes to me, why are you always nervous Father's Day on 20 year? He goes, I'm scared someone's going to knock on my fucking door and say, I'm your father. As he's saying that story, knock, knock. We open the door like, are you so-and-so? Yeah. I think you're my father. I looked at him and go, this better not be a fucking joke from me. Like, I have nothing to do with this. And that was actually his kid he didn't know he had.
That's ridiculous.
No.
It's just funny as he's saying the story, telling me the story. Somebody was at his door saying that to him. So let's play the next video, guys.
That's freaking insane.
Might happen to you next, Ray.
Girlies in their late 20s, early 30s. Where are we finding men?
Unfortunately, they are working overtime instead of going out and dating because they feel they will never be attractive enough or wealthy enough for a girl ever again. They would rather check their weather app than chat with another person on Hinge. If they're not at work, they're usually at home, the gym, playing video games with friends, or fighting for democracy. You're welcome.
If you're making $50,000, don't date. I'm just being for real. You're not ready to date.
Again, I'm with you when
You're not ready to date. You're not ready to date because courtship costs.
Girlies in their late 20s, early 30s.
All right. Ray, you can go first on this one. You're already warmed up.
Oh. I mean, the first chick, the first video, she's right. Like, generally speaking, as you get into adulthood, you can just find somebody that there's dating in adulthood. If I'm dating somebody my own age, it's like somebody who just like we enjoy each other's company and like it's just somebody to hang out with at this point. Like, I think pretty much after a certain point, it's like if you already have kids, it might be different. But like I'm like, if you don't, then it's like, okay, well, like at a certain point, I'm looking for a kid. So that's going to limit my options as far as like what I'm planning on doing. But 90% of the time I'm at work. I have like maybe 1-2 days a week where like I go do stuff if it's outside of my friend group. Now, if the only other option for dating for me is somebody within or adjacent to that group, because there are other adults that are single that are like in that group of people, which again, dating through your network, whatever. But that's honestly about the only other opportunity anyone has to get in front of me in any type of way to date me, because I'm not going, like, if I don't have plans, 90% of the time I will sit on the couch, chilling out, working on my portfolios, and then I'll just be like, cool, I'm going to watch a movie and go to bed. It's dark. I'm not leaving the house. Because, to be honest, I'm sick of most of you. So, and I don't want to be around you. So like, I'd rather just get paid and be at home. Now, the second thing about if dating, and if you gotta have, if you're making 50K, you can't date. This is the reason that Black people are poor. This is the reason that Black women are becoming spinsters and dog ladies. Literally. You think everyone's fucking dusty, but you get knocked up by somebody who doesn't have a fucking job. Like, how? I need someone to make it make sense. If you're not willing to assess value, and this is the other problem, and it's becoming a Western problem and not just a Black culture problem, is women don't know how to assess value at all. At all. Period. Y'all getting busted down, and the reason you end up with that baby from that dude that ain't got a job is because he rented a Ferrari for the weekend off Turo to come bang you out. And I'm gonna give you a pro tip. If you catch him in the Ferrari and give up them cheeks, and then the next time you see him, he got a Kia talking about it's in the shop, indefinitely, he never had it. He never had it. You just cheeks. You fell for it. But they can't assess value. So, you shouldn't date if you don't have over 50K. Like, okay, well, that's funny, because everyone in college, when no one has a job, is finding somebody to partner up with because they can assess fucking value and they're figuring their lives out then. Like, there's like one culture that constantly complains about generational wealth and being at the bottom and blaming everybody else for us not having money. And then on the flip side of that, you're telling all these women that now they got to pocket watch every guy they go sit down on a date with and look at just what he's making right then. They want the snapshot of right then. Oh, do you have it right now? Are you perceived to have it right now? And then you end up alone, tossed around with 18 kids, and apparently all of them are dusty. And then you want to talk about you deserve a high value man. Like, no, you don't. You don't even deserve a decent man, in my opinion, at that point. I honestly think after a certain point of self-inflicted damage, you don't deserve a good man. Like, if you out here doing OnlyFans to make ends meet, I think that you might only deserve drug dealers. I mean, I'm just saying, it's a job risk, bro. Like, it comes with the territory. That's what you qualify for. That's the reason that's what you keep finding.
Oh, my God.
Like, you're not in the spaces with where the men that you want are, but you're going to speak up the mountain and think you're going to manifest something because he's going to come strolling through the hood and see your ass. Probably not going to happen. Probably not. And that's just the way stuff works. Like, stuff has to, we do not live in complete clown world yet. Everybody can't have a high value man. You can have a good man. You can have a decent man, but you skip over those until you've made yourself unattractive to those men. And then you want to spin the block and come back and be like, yo, remember, hey, big head, remember when you used to have a crush on me? Be like, yeah, I remember what you looked like then too. And you don't look like that now.
Damn.
Like,
yeah. So let's get her in here. She's being patient. She hasn't showed her face in a while. Don't shake your head on, young lady. You know who I'm talking about. So are we going by yes or school housewife? Which one are we going now?
Whatever you.
I forgot her name and everything.
She changed her name. I'm like, I saw that and I'm like, yes. Who
I
the
was
fuck
like,
is
oh,
yes?
man. Yes, I'm saying yes to everything today. Okay.
What's going on? How are you been?
I'm doing good. I just hopped in. I was like, oh, I seen Bossman said, there ain't no woman gonna come up. I'm like, I'm gonna come up.
Ooh, in your face, boss man. You're not the boss of her.
I need to put. We need to say that a little more so more of you girls come up and have a conversation with us. Go ahead. Let me hear what you have to say on this.
Okay, what is the question? Or is there expectations or the 50? Like,
so the
are there any
question
good
of the
men
day. The question of the whole show today is: are there still good men out there?
Yep. They just are hiding. They're there. They're like, they can see you from a mile away. They're getting mental clarity. They're getting, confidence, self-worth. They're teaming up with other men that have had the same experiences, and they're getting, insight on, character and behaviors of women, especially modern women, right? So it's like more of the bad behavior so prevalent, they're just learning how to avoid that. And also at the same time build themselves so that they can have more options available for themselves, that they don't necessarily have to be at the mercy of, women that think that they're going to leverage the box or their beauty. You know what I'm saying? So they're out there. They just know. They know what deal the time it is. They know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They know.
All right, that was a good version from a woman's side. I like as I'm choking.
Uh-oh.
All right, I'm good. So there are a lot of questions. Like Ray said earlier today when we started this show, is everybody has their own version of what is a good man, and I agree to that. Mine are different standards than his, and Paul had different standard when he was single, like 8 generations ago. Obviously, yours are different, standards. So, what are your standards?
Me? Oh my goodness. I think mine has changed over time because, as Ray said, we are poor pickers, right? When you're young and you're like, oh my God, this guy's so cute. That's how we like men. Oh, he's so cute. But as we get older, we have to become adults. So stability looks good. Consistency looks good. Future planning, or like you have a backup plan, like, I got 6 months in reserve or emergency fund. That looks good because that lets me know that you're able to take care of yourself, that you're able to take care of a family and handle responsibility. So like you said, at the end of the day, when women squander all that, then at the end of the day, they want somebody that is stable, that will be able to take care of them. But it needs to be reverse engineered. Those are the qualities that we need to identify in a man. And does he show that consistently in his life and where he grew up and all those things? So I consider all that now. But before, it was just, the looks and things like that, which doesn't get you anywhere.
And you have a very good point there. So, Ray, do you have any questions for her before I put in the next video?
I mean, no, I mean she summed it up. Like it's I mean, with age comes wisdom. We'll put it that way. Like, but
Absolutely.
the question is, like, at that point, it's like, and I mean, even before that, because like you're seeing younger women with a lot of trauma, a lot of PTSD that they're bringing into relationships, to the point to where it's like, they say that they have communication skills, and their communication skills are them communicating that, like, oh, I'm ending things. And it's just like, that's not a communication skill, just so you know. But it's just like, oh, well, you did this thing, and then like you're communicating about it, and you're like, okay, so like there's no resolution. Like, I'm just not going to talk to you anymore. Like, okay, like that's fine. But at that point, especially if it's somebody that you're not in an actual committed relationship with, it's like you're just bringing trauma from another fucking relationship. Like, that was somebody else's fucking problem, and it's not mine.
Well, sometimes, Ray, it is from past relationships, and sometimes it's also from women having conversations with other crazy women and other crazy content creators that say, hey, how do I fix this guy? He did this thing. What do I do? How do I go back to him? And how do I do it? Well, first of all, you take his dog and you kick the dog in the leg, and you're like, and then you're wondering, like, what the heck is going on over here? So a lot of women
Anybody
are
kicks
people
my
that give
dog,
bad advice.
anybody kicks my little Alex, I'm coming after your ass.
There we go. You go see Pat on the news.
There's gotta be shit to pay. Paul, any questions for it before I play the next video?
No.
All right, let's play the next video.
There's not a big pool of good men.
That's a lie. Listen.
What?
There's not a lot of good men who want y'all. I'm clapping for myself. There's a lot of good men out there where the good man at? Like they hiding under a rocker in a cave. They everywhere. They at the gas station. They at Costco, at Equinox. They at the bank. They walking right past you and you don't show up on their radar because of the way you are. They're gonna walk right by you. Your pretty face ain't gonna go too far because everybody's pretty. Matter of fact, you ain't even gotta be born pretty or wake up pretty. But when you leave your house, you're gonna be pretty. So everybody's pretty. That's a prerequisite. So if that's all you got to offer, we not looking at you. There's plenty of good men. They just don't want your ass. I ain't never heard no woman say, I know I ain't shit. When have you ever heard a woman admit to not being shit? She'll say, this man ain't shit, he ain't shit, my dad wasn't shit. Every woman think they're a good woman. What makes you a good woman? Who's auditing that you're a good woman? You are auditing yourself. Why don't you ask your exes what they think? Because all your relationships diminished and ended in turmoil. Maybe you...
I'm clapping for him too.
Okay, who wants to go first on this one?
I'll go first. Bro, he could have just took the mic and threw it at her after that. It was over. That was a done conversation. Like, what are we? I mean, most of the good men aren't in a price range that you will accept, and which is also crazy to me because you're just going to end up working and carrying all the heavy stuff alone. Anyway. Like now you got to pay for all the bills. You got no help and you're going to be bitter on mental health meds and doing whatever you got to do anyway. But the reality of it is, no, they're not looking at those dudes because that dude might drive a not in the best shape pickup truck or a car that's dirty at the time or God knows what. Or you see him and he's got a little dirt on him because he just got done working construction today and walked through some mud. But you think he's dusty, and that dude makes $80,000 a year.
Absolutely.
Because you don't, again, no assessment of value. And you don't want those men. You want dudes that have all the options in the world that are going to treat you like dirt, fold you up like laundry, then hang you out to dry. That's what you want. That's what everybody wants, which is fine. But it's like, don't ask where the good men are if you want a specific type of man that you don't even have access to, nor do you ever see. And then go, oh, well, there's no good men when you're looking past, walking over, ignoring. You got a good man in your DMs right now. The one that keeps saying hi and keeps rizzing you up, that doesn't call you a bitch or send you a picture of his dick. That's probably a good dude. Like that one. The one that you keep fucking ignoring, that's a good man. But you over here trying to dox everybody who's sending you dick pic after dick pic and calling you a bitch after you don't send him a nude that he asked for no goddamn reason out the blue because he rude as fuck. There's good men scattered all over the place. I keep saying they don't exist. They don't exist in the traditional sense that they used to, but like finding a guy that you can get along with and have a family with that adores you and will treat you good, they exist. You just ignore them regularly.
Absolutely.
And as you go and pick up damage, these dudes are seeing that. And then when you are finally ready to allow them their chance after you've been completely used up, soul gone, now you want to go destroy a good man that you no longer deserve or qualify for, in my opinion. And I mean, that's just my opinion. But like, now you're going to go put this dude through the paces because of what everybody else did to you while you was ignoring him. Like, it's a no-win situation. So what happens is a lot of those good guys are no longer trying to date. Like, we're getting money and we're trying to go somewhere where women still appreciate and respect men, and we're not the enemy. We're not something to be tolerated or dealt with. We're not an option. We're something that's wanted and appreciated. And I mean, the issue is this: there are women and cultures like that still existing on this planet,
Right.
and they know that y'all are miserable. So I'm just saying, like, we can still go get that. It requires a flight. It requires you to be in a different culture. But you know what? The air's gonna be clean. The food's not gonna be poisoned. I'm just saying. Like, America, literally, y'all can look up the numbers. America's bleeding millionaires, bleeding them. We getting 1 million and getting out. It is what it is. It's like there's plenty of good. And I say the same thing. Like, I don't know that there's plenty of good women, but like I can't say because I ain't dated all of them. I date awesome women. They're just not my person, which is understandable. That doesn't make them not awesome. Like, that's the other thing we got to get over. Maybe you dated a good man that just wasn't your person.
Yeah.
Just stop calling him Dusty and lumping him in with all the other assholes. Let him be a good man. It's just the one you couldn't have.
So,
or
Ray,
maybe
can you
the other
break that
factor
down a little
is
bit? How does that work? You said you date awesome women, but they're
they're
weren't
just not
you.
mine. It's not my person. Like that.
You guys
I
were not
don't
compatible.
date people that are. I don't date people that are. I have dated in my entire existence of 4 decades on this planet. I've only dated 3 women that at this juncture, I don't have anything nice to say about. Like, they're dope. But I just have, my standards are, I don't redate people. So it doesn't matter how dope I think you are. Like, if we date and we get in a committed relationship and it doesn't work, I will not only not date you, I won't date anyone with your personality traits. Period. Like, you are, like, that whole shit gets zeroed out for me and it's a one-time deal. So, like, you catch chicks and they'll come back around and be like, oh, like, I was in this space, and then I'm like, that's cool, but I'll never fucking date you again. Like, you, like, trust is broken. Like, I can't.
So is what is known is what you're looking for, is that known? I'm trying to figure out
I couldn't even. So, like, I get how you had like a chart. Like, I can get along with fucking anybody. And like, honestly, at this point, like, I'm like, that don't sound too bad. Like, if you could just get along with somebody, like, that doesn't sound too bad. It's just,
but none of those. So at this point in your life, so you're thinking a little bit differently. So you can't look back over the women that you dated that you say were good, were great, great women in their own right. There's no one that you could, kind of go back revisit, or no one say, you know what?
I don't do that.
Okay. I'm just asking. I'm not
like, I'm just saying, like, mentally, like, if I break up with you or we break up, period, that's the end of that story forever for me. Like, I'll do anything for you, but be in a relationship with you again.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't do that. Like, I don't do.
You don't give second chances, in other words.
No, never.
Yeah,
that's tough. I'm kind of like Ray on that too, because I give my all to you, and I mean, if you broke up with me and I'm like, well, Dad, I know I ain't that bad of a person. I'm not and like, it makes me feel bad, and I'm like, I can't look at you the same, because I had true love for you. I had true devotion for you. That's just my loyalty, right? I only gave that to my husband, that second chance, because that was my marriage.
Yeah.
But when he did this, he did a 180 to everything, to the children. That put a dagger right in my heart, and that made it even harder for me to go back and to respect him, because I really had my heart open to fix what was going on. And so when he stomped on that and then never looked back, that's when I was like, I don't know if I could give him that level of respect, which men need respect for. Yeah, I couldn't do it.
That's not what I was. That's not what I was referring to. Because again, when you talk, I mean, that is, again, you talk about the betrayal. Your desire was there, but he wasn't, or whatever. There's people, especially when you're younger, when you're dumber. There's situations where it's like, you know what, this could have worked, but we were just too stupid at the time to recognize that we were doing stuff. Now that we're older and wiser, whatnot, the attraction you're still attracted to them. They still look hot to you, whatever.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can just kind of do like a rebound. It's like, hey, let's rewind and let's see if we can. I mean, there are relationships that end amicably.
Yeah,
right. Even divorces, right now, unless you guys don't believe that. Like I do believe in something called an
100%.
amicable divorce, where you're still good, with each other. But like that song by Usher, now we're not good, but we're still good. I mean, there's still love there, but it was just you guys just weren't in position. So again,
so there's one chick that I dated that I would say that yes, that would be something that would be an option for her specifically.
That's all. I mean,
okay. So there's one, but it wasn't like I guess what you're saying, like the amicable breakup part of it.
Yeah, I'm not saying if there's dysfunction and drama and all. I'm not talking about them. I'm
but
saying,
it also depends on the situation when you come back. Cause like I can think you're attractive and like like cool, young and dumb, but like you come back with somebody else's kid, like no. I'm not cleaning up a mess. I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
My ego will not allow
I
it.
think what Paul's trying to say, giving somebody a second chance, if you first say, is a lot of factors are in the middle.
How you
what
leave,
is the factor?
how you leave it matters. Like even for married people, like even wife school. Let's say if your husband gets a visit from the Holy Spirit and convicts him like Paul on the road to Damascus and says, I have totally screwed this up. And he just gets that come to Jesus moment, and he's just like, and it may not be now. It could be like, how old is your youngest?
They're 11.
Oh, okay. So a few years from now, all right, when you guys are like 50 plus or whatever, and it's like, I'm just saying, I mean, there's times like, it could be your son's wedding. You got that father and mother and daughter dancing, that the daddy dancing. And y'all could be like, you know what? Just say, hey, how you doing or whatever. Hey, yes, we did good and so happy, marriage. You know what? I've been this has been stupid. I've been just the worst, whatnot. I was in myself or whatever, and at this point, you're like, you just want to just grow old together. At this point, you can't get back what you lost, but can we do something? So full mea culpa on everything that I've ever said, ever done, or whatever. If you still have that feeling there, if you think that could be restored, and he comes to you with that kind of energy, is that door still open, or could that door be open or rekindled?
She said the Holy Spirit gonna have to stop by and say something to her too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. At least she said she was open. He was just shutting. I'm saying he's the one who needs maybe the more work, because he was, shutting everything off, whatever. But again, if that, and obviously you're not with anybody by that time also. So again, it also depends on where you're at in life. It's like, all right, we 50 plus. We're not getting any younger. No one's coming after us, right? So again, if it gets to that point, say, hey, you know what, let's visit this. I always had optimism that, again, especially if you were married and you were married young or whatever, by the time the kids get grown or something like that, and you guys are out here and y'all just dying separately, you better dine together. I don't care if you're even living in the same house and you got separate rooms. Where Kevin Samuels talk about that all the time. In the house together, whatever. But again, it's the family. It's together. I think there's types of relationships like that can work. But it may be different than what it was, but it's better than just dying alone. I just don't, maybe I'm just a romantic.
I don't know. Maybe the friendship can be there, like you said. The friendship can be there. I hear that people are like, oh, we're good friends. We travel together. I mean, maybe that at best. I don't know. I would really have to, like Ray said, I would have to have a big come to Jesus moment. I had to have a parade. There would have to be Jesus visit me right there and say,
because I was just talking to a coworker at work, and she just got she's divorced, but she's talking about she was kind of talking to me. It's like I mean maybe I should have stayed married, or we should have worked it out. I mean, because divorce goes against God and everything, but you could tell in her spirit it's like maybe this wasn't the right thing to do. It may have been in the moment.
You know what happened, Bennett? She found out what the fuck was actually out here. And depending on how old she is, it might
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you come to that and say, you know what? whatever it was that drove us apart, it was petty, it was immature, it was materialistic or whatever. Now that you know the real, now that you know you were better off together. But the problem a lot of times is people, you're too prideful to admit it.
Yeah.
And so again, for a couple that split up, it's 10 years later. Neither one of you guys is on the market. You thought you were hot in your 40, but now you're 50. You still, no one's with you. You're 10 pounds heavier. And it's like, you know what? But still, your kids are going to, you're at all the family events. Your ex-husband, he's at the graduations. He's at the wedding. He's at the whatever. At some point, I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not winning here.
Well, I mean,
let's do. I'm saying that kind of humility. It takes humility to do that. But I think it's possible. But I think a lot of people just, again, you just don't want to move on.
I
don't know.
We've set up a society where nobody wins. That's what we get now.
And that's the problem. I could certainly see a point. Though. I would say, look, I'm tired of losing.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep losing, and I'm just gonna, just vegetate. You know what I mean? If I can have 50, if I'm 50, 55 years old, you know what? I can still have 20 years, 20, 25 years with you. Like I say, I can't get back what we lost, whatever, probably near retirement age or whatever. But hey, take some cruises. Do what old people do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
do
nice.
Line dancing, do waltz. Learn how to dance the waltz and all that kind of whatever old people do at 55, 60 years old. But
you think 55 is old? That ain't old.
I'm just saying, I'd rather be. I'm assuming again, you got mad at 25. Kids are growing and everything. You go home to an empty house.
Yeah,
you're going into the over 55 community or whatever, which is a petri dish, right?
Hey, Paul, just FYI, if you need assistant living, I think the rest of my work has.
I'm good. That's why I work out. I'm trying not to get into a retirement community.
Exactly.
So I want to say something before we go to our final thoughts. Sometimes it's not the person is bad or the woman was bad. Maybe your personality or both of your personality wasn't, you guys weren't compatible and it was just butting heads. Like, why are you putting a glass there when you push under the coaster, or you have a different routine than they do? It could be a multiple reason. The compatibility is a big thing. Sometimes, as much you try and make it work, and the person's a good person, it just didn't work because you guys are so opposites, like yin and yang, water versus fire.
That's just not your person.
But yin and yangs work. I've seen them up close.
They can.
Yeah, that was a bad example, Paul. You know what I was trying to say? Sometimes opposites do attract. I'm not disagreeing with that, but sometimes they don't too, Paul.
I just think it's what you're expecting. Like I said, I know there's couples that, again, they sleep in separate rooms because one's a smoker and one isn't. One is, but again, it may not look like the picket fence and everything that you want, but it works.
You can just get a roommate, Paul. Like, Jesus,
there's a lot of benefits to having a spouse over a roommate. I'm just saying.
You can get a roommate that's a girl that you can, if you want to.
Oh man,
yeah.
I dated a Muslim guy, and he was amazing, but our spirituality, he's just as passionate as me in my beliefs and certain things.
That's not a combat. Yeah,
say
right. You're gonna have your.
It drove a dagger right through my stomach.
Yeah, that's understood.
Oh my God! So it's like I had to bite my tongue, not to. Or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, really think about the words that I say.
That's a essential core value and you need to be on one accord with that. I'm saying there's people who break up over stupid. At the end of it may not look stupid in the moment that you're in or at that period.
Mm-hmm.
You give it time. Time is one of the greatest teachers. And you come to a point 10 years later, 15, 20 years later, at the end of the day, was it really that important? And you come to a point to say, nah, this was BS. Would you be bold enough, have the courage to go to that other person and say, look, it was wrong. I was wrong. It was dumb. It wasn't, can we do something? I'm not saying make it back. I'm not saying about restoration. Sometimes reconciliation is about building something different. Not trying to get back to where you were, because if you go back to where you were, then you may have the same problems. But can we do something new that we can be together in a working environment? It's good for the family. It's good for everyone involved. And hey, we just going to live the rest of our lives out in this fashion. But again, stubbornness is just what just kills a lot of people. How you broke up in the first place, and why a lot of people who could be together won't, because you're too stubborn to admit when you were wrong.
I'm stubborn. Yeah, I will admit that I am a stubborn woman, but yes, maybe I open in that time frame when the sorry should have happened and not 10 years later. You know what I'm saying? Like the sorry should have been then. You know, I put all that to the side for that. You know, I wanted what you're trying to say. I wanted to build something new. Then I was ready. So, but when a man just leaves you, it really breaks your heart. And if it's a consistent thing, like you said, you sit back and you watch, you're like, okay, this is crazy. You know, and it's like, and it's like the things that you would want them to be for you, they can't be, because they can't be it for themselves. And that's something that they have to kind of work on.
And that's why I'm saying, and that's why exactly why I'm painting this scenario. I'm saying again, time is the greatest teacher. And maybe in that 10, 20 years from now, maybe he did get, or you got your stuff together. Or you had your moment, like I said, your come to Jesus moment where you just realize, I've been an idiot for this length of time. And shoot your shot. Again, you still could say no. But again, if you guys find yourselves in position, again, 10, 15 years, are you that much better off? And if you're not, then you're just going to stand on your square and just go down with the Titanic. Or you guys, we going to get this raft and we going to go, but we going to be in this raft together, and we going to get oars on the other side, and we going to row the rest of the journey in this raft. I'd rather be in a raft than go down with the Titanic.
Well,
so I'm
I
just saying,
can consider that your point of view. Can I actualize it? That'll take a
and
lot.
again, and I'm just throwing a scenario. I'm not saying you specifically or
No.
anybody
I've
else.
seen people, even in my church, right? I've seen people go through like even crazier stuff than me. And the women's staying power, their perseverance and their long suffering, I admire that. Because that's what's in them. And I'm like, wow, I need that in my life. But like kind of Ray said, like, I don't know. Sometimes it click off. It really do. And I don't mean it to be like that. But
I got you. Yeah.
Like I said, when you're getting me, it's all of me, like all the way. And like, it's hard to get stomped on and then continuously get stomped on.
Understood. And that's
not, going forward, but I'm still working on that forgiveness. So I can't entertain it because sometimes I'm at work, right? And I'm like, okay, could you hug can you hug that person? Or could you sleep in a bed with them or let them touch you? And I'm like, I don't know. So I do have those conversations with myself. It's kind of tough.
Literally. And that's where I'm like weird. Like it's like fucking neurospicy shit going on over here. So I'm like, I'll do literally anything. Like I'll bust you down. I don't care. I'll never date you again. Like I will take that away from you. Like you will never have me to yourself ever.
And everybody's different, right? That's the thing. Like most like is trying to say.
I'm trying to embrace you, Mr. Bennett. I'm trying.
Yeah, and I'm saying that just like I said, I'm not talking again all that stuff, abuse, DA, all that stuff. No, that's not what I'm talking about.
You're talking about a scenario that you just fell out of love with a person. You didn't have any bad feelings for the person, and 10, 20, 30, even 100 years later, you go, hey.
Or like I said, the issues at the time, it may have been a difference in priorities, some materialistic stuff. You had different financial goals, or you wanted the SUV and he wanted the minivan. I don't know, just whatever, just again, dumb stuff. that at the end of the day is not is that really what you want your life to be about? People get over the stupidest things sometimes. It's not always because of, especially in this culture now where there's no fault. So you just literally, irreconcilable differences, whatever that means.
Be like, what happened? I opened up Bumble. I'm out of here.
Right.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's get on our final thoughts. Let's do it in order. Ray, Bennett, and Mrs. Yes for tonight.
Madam,
My
yes.
final thoughts.
It's Madam, yes.
My final thoughts are that the tradition, in the sense of good men from the female perspective of just being useful to them and existing solely for them and their benefit, I'd say that those good men are gone. Are there good men out there who handle their business, take care of themselves, could potentially take care of a family should they choose to have one? Yes, they're all over the place. Some of them are probably in your DMs. Check the ones that don't have D pics or aren't asking to see your bobs, because like those are different kind of men, and you don't want those ones. Those are the ones that you can't sleep on their couch. So, but there's good men all over the place. It's just what your definition is. Like if you're looking solely for utility, I mean, generally speaking, I would say the ones that have the same mindset I have, as soon as they dial in on you're using them as utility, they're going to be out. Like it's not worth it. We have other shit to do. And that other shit involves making money, and you are a liability because you involve spending money. So be somebody who's pleasant to be around that we want to spend money on. It's that simple. Like honestly, like it's not hard to be a decent human. Like it really isn't. And that goes for guys too. It's like really not hard to be nice. You can open doors and pay for meals and not be a simp. The simps have to open doors and pay for meals, or they're not willing to not open doors or pay for meals. I mean, like, however you navigate, you should have a standard, but I'd say it'd probably be easier to just navigate as though like you treat everybody like you're going to treat your wife, because eventually you're going to have a wife and you don't want to have to learn how to treat her. It's a lot easier if you're just doing everything the same all the fucking time. And we're going to leave it at that. There's good men out there. If you know how to assess the value, that probably needs to be worked on.
Hey, like I said earlier, I think we need to move away from judging our goodness relative to other people and other people's judgments of us. I think you need to have a core sense of self, or you have a spiritual foundation where you derive your goodness and you strive towards that. Every day, can I be better than I was yesterday? Can I be better than I was last year? And always be striving to be a better version of yourself. And then you simply invite people into your life who can rock with that. So again, in the relationship world, you're never going to be perfect. And someone just said, okay, good men peel the layers off. Well, again, maybe that type of person isn't for you, because guess what? I would think you'd be peeling off some layers also. You got some stuff you need to peel off. So people, be honest about, hey, imperfect people getting together, can we form a more perfect union? So again, I think there needs to be some humility in this space and some grace of people who are striving to be better. Can you build something better than what you were? So that's all I got.
Hello, everyone. All you ladies that are complaining that there are no good men, please get off of social media. Get into real life. These men, they're working hard. They're at post office. They're firemen. They're at your church. They're at the museums. They're at these really nice places that you can go and join and be, a part of, a member of, and get into that society or the people that you would like to be around. Okay. They're doing things up there. Okay. So, and also read how to be a wife, read how to have etiquette, read how to have manners, read how to respect, read how to heal, get rid of your trauma. Because sometimes you're blocked by a lot of stuff that you've been through. You got wrong information, and that has shaped how you secure yourself in relationships. And we may not have the best picker. Get good men around you that would help you vet a good man, because you may not know what it is. Your good man may be a scammer, but because that's what's familiar to you. But get good men around. You need good men around you first to help you identify a good man. So work on that. You got all year, and but definitely better yourself. Be authentic. Be feminine, be respectful, be courteous. And men are humans too. They have feelings. They work hard. They're improving themselves every day so that they can live a good life too. They deserve a happy life too. They work hard. They work hard and they earn what they have. You need to work hard and earn and be a good woman so that a good man can find you. So stop being lazy and get it together.
All right, thanks, guys. You guys, I can't say more. Thank you so much for coming up. And Mrs. Housewife, you better be showing your face a little more around here a little often because it's been a hot minute. I think it's been a year since the last time you showed up.
Okay,
All
I know.
right,
I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. I apologize.
you don't need to apologize, but just show your ass because I've been emailing you.
Yeah, I do see it. I take accountability. Take accountability, ladies. Okay? Yes, you're right.
All right. So let's do a quick schedule update and let's get the hell out of here. So this Saturday we are talking about Calabanga Shadows, the Ninja Turtles legend.
Mm.
I think we were gonna piss some people off, but I'm okay with that. Angry Elf will be back. He might be a little late, but he's gonna be back. Because he has some things he needs to get off his chest. He said on Sunday, there'll be no show. Super Bowl. I'm gonna be enjoying wings, tacos, and who knows what else. My fat ass is gonna be eating. But we'll be back on Wednesday with Gundam with the guys from Enemy Unlocked. Black David and Wally will be back at it. And next week, okay, Ray, you ready for this one? You're gonna like this new one.
Oh, jeez.
Is Contract of Love. Should marriage have an expiration date?
Okay. Okay. I'll rock with that.
So before we go, Ray, anything else?
No. I'm good.
Mr. President?
No, I'm good here. Good.
Mrs.
Good
Wife?
show.
No.
As always, guys, this was a Spartan SQ Network. Hopefully you guys had a good one. Stay safe, stay fresh, and I'll see you guys in the next one.